I refuse to take my kids' calls after finding out my wife committed paternity fraud. My wife and I have not been getting along for the past 5 years. In fact, of our 15-year marriage, around 8 of them were spent with no intimacy. Around 5 years ago, I tried to broach the idea of an amicable divorce, but my wife would not have it. She cried, refused to do housework or even acknowledge the kids. She is a SOM and I work 55+ hours a week as a concierge supervisor in a hotel. I nearly lost my job from the stress of that period. She finally said that she would divorce after all the kids left the house, and I just gave up and hoped things would pick up. So we settled back to dealing with demanding guests during the day, hoping my $60,000 a year can turn into $65,000 one day, and then coming home to a cold, sarcastic wife. There were times when I found somebody else attractive, but I never acted on those feelings. I just thought about my kids and how I needed to continue to love my wife because she was their mom. And how I could sleep at night knowing I was keeping their parents under one roof. Then one day I came home to my wife crying. She tells me that she has been unfaithful. And that from age 24 to age 33, she was dating a married man 30 years older than her, but they rekindled their affair a few months after we married. She told me that we were very poor at the time and that he got her a job at a company and helped supplement her salary with cash gifts, and I never knew about it. All this time I thought it was leasing commissions. And she tells me that he just died, and in the state of Louisiana all biological kids under 24 have a claim to his estate. He stayed with his long-suffering wife and refused to acknowledge the girls, but my wife said she took my DNA without me knowing a long time ago and that they are not mine, but my son is. To say I was furious was an understatement. I know part of the reason she stayed with me is because I had hopes of starting a business, but life got in the way. But now that she can sue a rich man's estate, she tells me and doesn't seem to care that I filed for divorce the next day. I left the house within the hour and am now renting a place. Just going to work and circling the drain of depression. It's been a few weeks and my lawyer keeps telling me to make contact with my kids and work out a custody arrangement. I actually did take a few things that could be used for a DNA test, paid for it to be run only to confirm that only my son is mine. My wife didn't care that I did so. After it all went down, I started getting calls, starting once a day but now several times a day from my 2 oldest kids. Them leaving me messages crying saying they wanted to talk. But they aren't actually my kids, everything is a lie, and I blow up at anybody who tries to convince me otherwise. My son is too young to call, but he was in one of the messages too. I want to pick up the phone and tell them to leave me alone. They do not feel like family to me right now.